A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to Global Online. And yes, here we are back with our preparation for NTA UGC NET Paper 1, that is for your this June 2024 examination. And in this particular sessions, we have started with questions on recent topics. And these questions which I have brought for you, that is, with the help of all the papers, with the help of all the topics which are expected for your coming examination based on the topics are prepared, and now the topics are from the unit research aptitude. So we'll be having the questions based on the various methods in research. One of them is case study and various softwares which are used in research. Before we start with the session, let's understand a very important announcement, what exactly that is. So your next new batches, that is on Global Online, your new batches are have already started. So today is one of the new batch, and the upcoming batch will be starting from 19th of Feb. So 19th of Feb, you have live batches on the app, which will help you to prepare yourself for the examination and help you to crack the examination with all the recent efforts which will be taken by your faculty members. So how to go, I mean to say, how to go for these new classes, how to check on the app the new classes of Global Online, all this information I'll be giving you at the end of the session. So just stay tuned with the session, watch the complete video, and yes, prepare yourself very well for your upcoming examination. So let's start with the first question of the day. Which of the following are the features of case study method? So now they have given you the certain list of case study methods, and they are talking about to find out the features. The features which they have given, it is appreciative, it is particularistic, it is descriptive, it is inductive, it is mechanical. So these features they have listed. Now they want you to understand that, okay, fine, the given features, no, from the following belongs to the case study method. So for this, you should be first aware about case study method. So let's understand that case study method is known for its particularistic approach. It means it focuses on a specific case or a situation, and which also has description, which also provides the information about the case. This method is considered to be inductive. Now, why it is inductive? Because it draws conclusion based on the observation and evidence. So, whatever conclusion the case study method draws, it is based on certain, observations as well as evidence, which helps them to come out with the conclusion. So, a case study method in research can be either on an individual, either on an organization, or a specific institution, which is basically which is in-depth study of of a person, maybe from all the possible angles, with respect to what, with respect to finding out a solution. It is something which is qualitative in nature, and yes, it has, it seeks to explore the area with either a very little understanding or with the help of prior knowledge. So the data sources in case study includes, the data regarding the family, the educational background, the primary data collection methods, which are based on observation and interviews. So yes, from these also you can be able to find out that what will be the right option when it comes to case study. So as I said, it is, it is appreciative, it is particularistic, it is descriptive, it is inductive, it is mechanical. So two options right now we are done, it's must. Okay, so which two options are available? If you have understood the question very well, listen to the explanation, it will be easier. Still, let's see the answer and let's come to the question. Now see, as I said, two options, as we know that it is particularistic and inductive. So option number 2 and option number 4 by default should be there in that option. And which is that option? Is option number 2, that is B. 2, 3, and yes, it is inductive in nature, it is particularistic, and it is something which is descriptive nature. So yes, what we studied about the case study approach, it is qualitative approach with an in-depth examination. So from these we can make out some key features. It is particularistic in nature, that is it focuses on a specific case or a situation. It is descriptive when I say, it is basically including, the relevant information, the relevant context, or the relevant data. It is inductive. I said that it comes out with what? Drawing the conclusion, which is based on observation and evidence. It is flexible in nature. Now, when I say flexible, it means that it gathers a huge number of data, including observations, including the documentation, the interview process, and there are multiple sources of evidence. So the case study method often involves collecting data from various sources, including whatever relevant documents are there, whatever witnesses are there, and this is interactive. The researcher must analyze and interpret the data. So I hope it is very clear what is a case study method, what are the features, and how these features stands to be correct with the statements, right? Coming to the next question is, now the question is very easy. Basically, it is about data collection. But see what they have given, which are the following remote data collection procedure. So you need to say that, okay, from the given, which is remote data. Third party interview, pop-ups. That is pop-ups is nothing but, it's an online form of, you can say, process, database email, instant messaging, panel discussion. So out of which stands to be remote, okay, data collection procedure. So please try to understand when I say, okay, when we have the question in front of us and the question is talking about what? The question is talking about remote data. So what exactly this remote data means? It means that it is basically the practice, where you can be doing your data collection in the form of a virtual way. So which of them? So whether it is third party interview, whether it is pop-ups, whether it is database email, whether it is instant messaging or panel discussion, so you have to define the same. So let's see how many of you can quickly answer this. Okay, so let's see the right answer. So, okay, from the given option, pop-ups, your database email, and your instant messaging are the one which is basically a remote data collection process. Your third-party interview and panel discussion requires a require physical presence, but we are not talking about physical presence. We talk about the remote data procedure. Okay, fine. Yes. Coming to the next question, to perform t-test, which of the following softwares can be utilized? So now they have, you're supposed to perform t-test, and for that they have given you the list of software: MS Excel, Unix, SPSS, MS Equations. Now first, for all those students who do not know what is t-test, let's understand this t-test very well. So a t-test is nothing but a statistical test that is used to compare the means of two groups. So it is basically something which is used in hypothesis testing to determine a process or a treatment actually has the effect on the population of interest, or whether the two groups are different from each other. So what is, and everyone knows very well, this is hypothesis is nothing but a tentative statement. So in order to judge, or in order to come out with a result of this tentative statement, we use what? The t-test. So I've just given an example very clearly. Now, if you wish to figure out the mean of the length of petals of a flower, which are belonging to two different species, okay, the t-test can be done. The user can select petals randomly from other two species of that flower and come with a standard conclusion. So whether you want to know what exactly your hypothesis was, and if you want to test that hypothesis, based on that you will be conducting a t-test. That is nothing but a statistical test. So for this statistical test, which softwares are used? That was the question, right? So when we talk about the softwares for t-test, it is basically MS Excel and SPSS. Now, when I say MS Excel, yes, it is something which will help you to bring, to give you the statistical uh, information about the particular test which you want to do. SPSS, now SPSS I'm not discussing in detail because there is one more question ahead. That time I'll take this. So please remember, that is what is SPSS tool or what exactly it means. I'll come to it very soon. Unix, the option given, it is not a software, it is an operating system. And yes, MS equation, it is nothing but a Microsoft equation which helps you to come up with, the equations in the form of your fractions, your exponents in the Word document. In addition, it allows you to insert an equation from the gallery, which helps you to create an equation, edit the equation, enter the equation. So these all aspects are done. So you have to now understand that when it is t-test, it is only with the help of my MS Excel, or it is with the help of SPSS tool, right? And will discuss this SPSS in the coming question. I've taken this concept also very well. Okay. Now, talking about, you have column A as types of research and column B as research characteristics. So now, if we look at those, the research are cohort analysis, cultivation analysis, factor analysis, canonical analysis. Now, maybe you have not read about them, or you must have studied about them in detail. So we have to understand first what these researches are called. Okay. And then we have to understand what exactly the characteristics of this research can be. So we have such a long list. Okay. So let's see what exactly I'll give some time so the students, those who know can come up with the answer, and those who do not know should listen very carefully what these researches stands for, then we will go ahead, right? Okay. So bit of time just to see that whether you can answer the question or not, and then we can go ahead with, with the answer and understanding the meaning in detail. Okay. Fine. So a little bit of efforts, if you have studied this very well in any of your, previous preparation, or maybe little bit you're aware of this. So let's see how it is understood, right? So if not, don't worry, we will try to understand it very well, right? Okay. So let me first explain you what is, what is these types of research, okay, one by one. So, okay. So when we talk about cohort analysis, it is basically a study of a specific population over a specific period of time. You study a specific population, you observe them, you observe the behavior of the group, maybe with the individuals, who share certain common characteristics. You understand the demographics, such as, their spending. Let us take an example. The If it is an individual, the spending habit of individual, the health, the behavior. So cohort analysis is help to understand a specific population over a period of time, right? When it comes to cultivation analysis, it is the perceptions, of the social world. So basically, it gives you an analysis about, about the social world. This is about a specific individual out of the population, you can say. Then when we talk about factor analysis, it is, a statistical test. So it is a test which helps, for data reduction, or it is a test. Basically, it is known as a test which will help to reduce the complex data into number of parts. And canonical, it is something, statistic analysis of two or more data tables. So if it is like, for example, if you want to analyze two or more sets of variables, you can do that with the help of canonical analysis, right? So like, take an example to explore the relationship between different sets of data, or how change, understanding how changes in one set can influence the change in another. So this is how, what exactly these researches means. So we'll quickly revise. Cohort, it talks about specific, okay, population. Cultivation, about the world. Factor analysis, it's a statistical test. And canonical, it understands the, the analysis is basically based on two or more data tables, right? So you have to now do the matching of the pair. So based on what I have explained you, cohort analysis. So when I said cohort analysis, so cohort analysis is something which, as I said, It is for specific, study of a specific population. See the first match itself. It studies the specific population which changes over the period of time. Then cultivation analysis, what I said, it is talking about the whole world, okay, social world. So when I say social world, it is about the perception of the social world, right? So it is your option number 3. Factor analysis, as I said, it is a test used for statistical test for data reduction. Canonical, it is something which analyzes 2 or more data. So with this respect, A is 1, B is 3, A is 1, B is 3. Okay, yes. So here, no, there is small change. Okay, this is not okay. A is 1, B is 3, C is 4, and yes, D is 2. So here, this option got shifted. So if you see here, this is option number 4 is the right answer. Is it clear? Fine. And I hope you have understood. I have also mentioned, same thing I have written, with the help of certain examples also here. So it becomes easier. So as I said, a cohort analysis, it is talking about a specific population. So like, for example, a specific game, a specific platform, or, it talks about a specific data of a specific unit. Cultivation, it talks about the social world, that is in the form of media reception such as television viewing. So it is doing what? It is talking about the social world. Okay. Factor analysis, it helps to reduce the set of variables, and canonical, it simultaneously study 2 or more data tables, right? Okay. Coming to the next question, question number 5. The measure of intercoder reliability are employed in the research related to what? So we have, the measure of intercoded reliability is related to what? Discourse analysis, narrative analysis, or it is talking about path analysis, or it is talking about the content analysis. So what does it, it indicates? Let's see how many of you can answer this question. Okay. If you do not know certain terms or certain questions, I will help you to understand. Okay. So I think fine. So we will go one by one. We'll understand one by one the topic, and also we'll come to the right answer. So let's see. So when I talk about, intercode reliability, so basically it is, it is something, it measures the agreement between 2 or more coders when encoding, when they are coding the same data. So it is used to assess the coding consistency, that, okay, what interpretation is there, what type of various research methods include. So it talks about, various concepts in the form of what? Discourse analysis, which talks about, the study of context. So discourse is nothing but the study of context in research. Narrative, it is something which talks about what? Study of, various narrations. Let us take an example about stories. Path analysis, it is talking about a specific, again, statistical, modeling. Uh, and coming to content analysis, now content analysis is something which, which analyzes or interprets whatever is written, whatever is spoke, with the help of text, images. So as I said, intercode reliability, it is understanding the agreement between 2 or more coders. So what will come in, it means this comes under what? It comes on something called as content, because we know the discourse is the context. Narrative analysis is about the narration. Path analysis is about what? A statistical tool. So in this, if it is intercoded with specific understanding, it's only and only the content analysis. Is it clear? Okay. Coming next is, as I said, this is the right answer. Coming next to sixth question, statement 1 and statement 2. Developing research questions means narrowing down and focusing directly on what you want. If you are called as developing the research question. Statement 2, research questions do not prompt the researcher to do literature review. So these statements are given. You need to identify whether the statements are right, wrong, or whether they're correct, incorrect, vice versa. So let's see. Developing research question means yes, narrowing down and focusing directly on what you want, very specific, or you that's the meaning of the term research. But does it mean that you do not require the literature review? Literature review helps you to understand, what level of information is there, what level of information needs to be proceeded. So when I say from these two statements, obviously statement one is correct because it talks about a specific research, but statement 2 is incorrect because it is, when you go for any research without literature review, the research will not give you a complete analysis, right? Okay. Coming to again your data collection methods and the characteristics. So you have field observation, you have focus group, you have intensive interviewing, and you have case study method. So, with the help of these, so what we in field, what we do, in the focus group, what we do, intense interviewing, what we do, case study we have studied just now. So you, even if you try to find out one match, it will be easier for you to analyze the others also. Okay, so let's see. So, based on the given table, field observation is something, which you do it in the form of natural setting, right? Focus group is something where you gather the information for a specific product or a research. Intensive interviewing, something where you take a detailed information about, either a small or a non-random sample. And case study, as I said, it collects information from various or many data sources. So please try to understand field which is done in the natural setting, focus with the help of preliminary information to, to come to what exactly you have aimed at. Intensive interviewing, detailed information, and case study with, with the many data resources, right? Okay. Coming to now the next two statements. Again, we have a statement question. The standard deviation of a sample in distribution of a statistics is called standard error. Now, statement 2, when the number of the samples taken from the population is between 32 to 60, it is called as what? It is called as small samples. Now, you need to identify whether the given statement stands true, whether the given statement stands false, or, vice versa. So, for this, you need to first understand what the case statement, are asking you to specify, or they are asking you what type of, information. So, okay, let's see. Okay, fine. So let's now continue with this. So when we talk about, let's talk about first statement, the standard deviation. Okay, of a sample and distribution of of a statistic is often called a standard error. So when we talk about, the measurement, okay, it includes standard deviation, it includes standard error. So when I say standard error, okay, basically the samples, okay, of a population reflects what, the variability within a sample. So the standard error of a sample means it depends upon the both the standard deviation also, as well as the sample size, the relationship. So here, when we talk about, the standard deviation of a sample in distribution of a statistic is called standard error. No, to know the standard error, we need to know the variability across the samples. We need to know the, them by the size, them by the relationship. Then only we can define the error. And when it comes to when the small number of population is between 30 to 60, they are called as what? They are called as the small samples. In fact, if the sample size is greater than 30 itself, okay, it is a large sample. So the minimum size is 30. Anything above 30 is large. And for large samples, the distribution is done with the help of Z test. We studied T test, no? So here we use Z test in order to study the samples between uh, 30 and above. So it is definitely not called what? It will not be called as your 32 small samples. So when we take both the statements, as I said, both the statements stands to be incorrect because error requires to know the variability, and sample size between 30 or within 30 itself is, something small. Above 30 all goes into the huge samples, right? Okay. Coming to next is what is SPSS. This is the first, question. As I said, I'll go ahead and explain this you in detail. So you have to first identify the acronym here. So you need to tell what is SPSS, what is the full form of SPSS. Now see, let me explain you that it is nothing but a software. Okay, yes, they have itself mentioned it is a software, also known as the IBM, okay, business machine statistics, okay, which talks about what, which talks about, um yes, which was initially released in 1968 basically. So it is something which is used for analysis in research of the statistical data. So this is something which is used for a statistical data. Uh, the name SPSS, it talks about the uh, use in the field of social sciences, and hence, it has been expanded in the market, in other data markets also. So SPSS full form stands for the Statistical Packages for Social Science, a software which is known as Statistical Packages for Social Science, right? Yes, coming to the last question of the day, an exploratory research on a small scale is called as what? So, if you are taking an exploratory research, do we call it as a sample test, pre-test, pilot test, or informal test? What it is known as? So, exploratory research on a small scale. So, if you are exploring something at a small scale, it will be always called as pilot study. So, small scale, it means just, just you want to do a prior study. So in research, that term is called as pilot test, right? Okay. So coming to how to join this global online app, as I said, those who are, yes, really wanting to complete your uh, I mean to say June 2024 cycle. So download Global Online Play Store from the Play Store, Google Play Store. Registered yourself with the registered mobile number. This is the course it reflects, wherein you have all the content which is easily accessible to you with the help of theory lectures, evaluation test, notes, mock test, MCQ lecture. You can get in touch with our team member. You can talk to us on the WhatsApp and try your level best to join the course as early as possible, right? Thank you very much. Stay tuned, keep learning, and aim of your cracking of examination in the June 2024 cycle.